Today in the Comicstorian channel, we're going to be concluding the Batman spin-off series that continues the animated series. Today, we're going to find out whatever happened to the ventriloquist, also known as Scarface. This is the Comicstorian channel, where I take some of your favorite trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read them dramatically back to you. I take your favorite comic book, I turn it into a synopsis, giving you the bare bones information. This allows you to go to your local comic book store, buying the issue to get more context, more of the actual storyline, and more amazing art. All alterations of the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Today we're going to be covering the finale to Batman the Adventure Continues, which is a follow-up season to the Batman the Animated Series. Basically, like I've said in the previous videos, they took the idea of Batman the Animated Series and wrapped in things like Red Hood, Deathstroke, and more adventures with characters like Superman, Lex Luthor, and the Joker. Today we're going to be doing one with the Joker and the Ventriloquist. I hope you guys enjoy. The blimp flies over the dark Gotham night as Scarface gets over the radio. He informs the GCPD that if they don't have the money, they're gonna make Gotham look like Chernobyl. If you set off that bomb, you'll kill yourself, Scarface, Gordon points out, but Scarface just laughs, pointing out that he has a chopper incoming. I can see it now, the dummy laughs, and the ventriloquist points out the window. I don't think that's a helicopter, he says as Batman leaps through the window, quickly fighting off Scarface's goons. But in the fight, the timer on the bomb has been activated. It's broken! I can't shut it off! The ventriloquist shouts, and the goons quickly jump to safety as Batman grabs Wesker, leaping out the door. Robin flies by in the Batwing, managing to catch them both in a big net. But in the falls, Scarface falls off of Wesker's hand, plummeting to the bay below. You butterfinger jabroni! He shouts to Wesker as he falls. It's later that Bullock interrogates Wesker, demanding to know where the rest of the explosions that they stole are being hidden. But Wesker just shakes his head, telling him that Mr. Scarface never let him know those details. He thinks I get too nervous sometimes, he explains to Bullock, who gets angry grabbing him. Renee Montoya interrupts them as she walks in, holding the Scarface puppet that they found in the bay. Bullock cheers, grabbing it, throwing it to Wesker, telling him to put it on. Hey, what are you doing here, ratting me out to the cops? Scarface demands of Wesker after he puts on the puppet. And Bullock steps forward, demanding to know answers, only getting the puppet punching him across the face as a response. Batman finally bursts into the room and removes Scarface, with Wesker finally being sent to Arkham Asylum. Months pass and Christmas is fast approaching, with Wesker's release papers finally being signed, giving him a clean bill of health. Elsewhere in the city, Harley shoots another bulb off the Christmas tree, complaining to Poison Ivy that she's bored, and that they should throw a Christmas party for all of their friends, though she's hesitant. Ivy finally agrees as long as Harley doesn't invite any ex-boyfriends. Snow begins to fall in the city as Wesker walks through the bustling streets of Gotham at Christmas time. He passes a store window, jumping when he thinks he sees Scarface looking back at him, but the toy elves just continue their work. Dear me, I've got to take my medication, Wesker realizes as he walks away. The elves gently whisper, dummy, turning their heads. Above him, Batman and Robin continue to watch the parolee, with Batman telling the young sidekick that they'll keep an eye on him. Holidays can put undue stress on people who live isolated lives. The cops have never located Scarface's stockpile of explosives, he says as they swing away into the night. Meanwhile, Joker isn't happy as he's looking at his computer screen, finding invitations for Harley's party in her hacked emails. She asked everybody but me! Even asked Albert Wesker for crying out loud, he shouts as he shoots his laptop, but he starts to laugh as Straight Man looks at him. Wait a minute, that could work! He says with a smile as he begins to laugh with maniacal glee. The next night, Batman and Robin are at Arkham Asylum, where the doctor explains to them that Straight Man broke in, knocked around the guards, and stole Scarface right out of the evidence room. Batman and Robin turn to leave. Joker wants the dummy for reasons of his own. I'm hoping those plans don't involve Albert Wesker. But when they find themselves outside of Wesker's apartment, they see the former criminal almost looks happy as he's wrapping a present and heading for the door. Seems like he's gonna spend time on Christmas Eve with family, or friends? Or Robin begins, but then the drone sees Harley's invitation on Wesker's computer screen. Oh, you're not gonna like this, he says as he shows Batman the screen. Batman's eyes narrow. I don't, he growls. At the Iceberg Lounge, Harley meets Albert with a kiss on the cheek. She leads him down into the club, where Gotham's worst villains gather to spend the holidays together. Feel free to mingle. I even invited my friends from work, Harley tells him, and Wesker puts his present under the tree and begins to mingle with the rest of the criminals. Outside, Batman and Robin watch from a nearby rooftop. Commissioner Gordon is going to love his gift. All the creeps in one place, practically gift wrapped. Robin laughs, but Batman tells him that they shouldn't sound the alarm just yet. He wants to slip in and make sure the Joker doesn't want to reunite Wesker with Scarface. We need someone inside to make sure that doesn't happen, Batman says as he steps out of the shadows in a Santa costume. Inside, Harley and Ivy smile as everyone seems to be getting along. You were right about this party, she says with a smile as she hugs Harley. This time of year can be hard for our crowd, hiding on the run away from our loved ones, if we have any. Tonight, you gave us all a place to be, and that means a lot. Ivy tells her, and then some of the rogues gather around the piano and begin to sing Christmas carols. I just don't want anyone to be alone, Harley says to Ivy. But the party is suddenly interrupted as Joker comes walking in with Straight Man. Harley storms over to him, demanding to know what he's doing here. But Joker just smiles. We're spreading a Yuletide cheer! He walks over, telling them that he brought a special gift, and that he'll hand it over to the impartial Santa Claus. Someone call me, Nut Brody says as he walks in. Everyone turns, groaning at the worst henchman ever. And he begins to collect presents as Joker tells Brody to start handing out the gifts. And Nut takes Joker's gift and reads the card. This one's for Roxy Rocket, he says, stumbling over the words, and Roxy cheers, but Straight Man pushes her away. Never mind, I'll deliver it. We don't have all night, Joker says with a smile as he takes the present from Brody. I can speed things up, Brody says, beginning to toss the presents out. I'll toss out all the gifts and you guys can swap, he shouts. The criminals all begin to scatter around the room, reaching for any present that comes close to them. Meanwhile, Batman gets on the comms and tells Robin to call in the GCPD. Brody keeps tossing the presents, telling everyone to hurry up since he saw the cops outside, and as the criminals begin to scatter, he reaches for Wesker and starts to lead him out of the building. The nervous man thanks Brody, knowing that the police won't look kindly on him, associating with his old friends. And Brody reaches back into his bag and finds a present with Wesker's name on it. The man thanks him as he heads off into the night, but Brody is suddenly hit in the back of the head as the Joker laughs, stepping out of the shadows, holding Scarface. Shame, shame, Santy! Pinching presents? We'll have to make sure that this gets to the rightful owner, he says as he and Straight Man head off into the night, laughing. Wesker steps out of the subway with his unopened present. His excitement at the present diminishes as he sees that it's a festive pair of socks. Oh, socks. A box of socks. Isn't that thoughtful? He sighs as he puts the sock on his hand and begins to talk to it as he moves through the city, finally introducing Tozy to his home. But he's shocked to find Scarface sitting at his desk when he walks into the room. Two-timing me already, dummy! I'd blast you right where you're standing if you didn't look so pathetic! Scarface tells him, and Joker and Straight Man come out of the kitchen, pulling the sock off of Wesker's hand, jamming Scarface in its place. Shortly, Batman kicks open the apartment door to find the place empty. You bought him socks? Robin asks as he looks at the gift on the floor. I was pressed for time, Batman tells him, looking around the apartment, finding a Joker playing card before they rush back out into the night. Meanwhile, Scarface leads Joker and Straight Man to the place where he's hiding the explosives. Their car pulls up to the darkened Santa town. Who's gonna be looking at Santa's backyard? Scarface jokes as he points to a large candy cane nearby. Let me put it this way. There's more than sugar in those candy canes. Ha ha! He laughs. A short time later, they return to Joker's hideout where they plan for the New Year's Eve of destruction. Albert Wesker is nervous, believing that they should lay low, but the Joker just laughs, telling the pair that they can stay with him. And then a few days later, on New Year's Eve, Batman and Robin stand on the snowy rooftop of the GCPD with Commissioner Gordon. All I can tell you is that every lead on the Joker went nowhere. We have yet to hear from him or Scarface, he tells the dynamic duo, and Batman nods, but knows that Joker will make his move when the ball drops. Then his comms buzz and Alfred gets on the line, telling him that they've tracked down Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. Harley walks into their apartment, surprised to find Ivy tied up by Batman and Robin. You and your stupid party, Harl. Ivy sighs and Batman stalks forward, demanding to know where the Joker is. But Harley shakes her head, telling the Dark Knight that she doesn't want anything to do with the Joker. He can rot in that stinking ha-ha shoot! She begins to rant, but then she realizes that she gave it away. Gee, Harls, that was fast even for you, Ivy tells her. When Batman and Robin arrive at the abandoned store, they find it completely empty. But Batman notices a subway ticket from the station near Wesker's apartment. They rush out as he tells Robin that he thinks that Wesker left it behind as a clue. I sure hope so. It's only 45 minutes until midnight, Robin tells them as they head back into the snow. At the station, Joker, Straight Man, Wesker, and Scarface all load up onto their trolley car, the explosives all around them. Joker steps off, continuing to set the explosives on all of the support struts. And Scarface looks down at the clown, wondering about the ransom and how they're gonna get away. Oh, About that, I never actually made those calls. That's your game. All I care about is the joke. Joker tells him as he steps forward, squirting his flour in Wesker's face. The ventriloquist stumbles, falling off of the platform, landing on the tracks, but Batman and Robin suddenly appear in the subway station. Save Wesker. I get the others. Batman shouts to Robin, and Joker jumps onto the trolley car, preparing to escape, but a well-placed batarang takes out the controls. Not funny, Batman! Ah! Joker shouts in anger, with Straight Man jumping forward, swinging at Batman, knocking him onto the tracks. But Batman manages to roll away just as another subway car comes screaming at them. It slams into Straight Man, carrying him away as it rolls through the Joker's trolley. Robin manages to push Wesker out of the way, making sure he's safe. You okay, Mr. Wesker? He asks, and Wesker nods as he looks down at the shattered remains of the Scarface dummy. I think so, but poor Mr. Scarface. He sighs. Batman and Robin lead him up to the street, and Batman explains that he called Gordon and told him where to find the Joker, and that they deactivated the bomb. This is all my fault. If I hadn't let Mr. Scarface take over. Wesker begins, but as they reach the street, sounds of cheering and celebration of the new year meet their ears. Batman looks at him, telling him that the clue that he left behind is what allowed them to stop the Joker. It's a new year, Mr. Wesker. Robin reminds him. Albert smiles and begins to walk away into the celebrated crowds. It is indeed, he whispers to himself, happy for a brief moment. And there you have it, the conclusion to Batman The Adventure Continues Season 1. And now if you enjoyed this, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you thought about the Red Hood chapter, the Deathstroke chapter, the Ventriloquist chapter. There's a Season 2 that they've already done for The Adventure Continues, and that we can cover if you guys enjoyed this. So like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you next time right here at the Batman series.